Hi everyone, thank you for joining us. We're here with Karen Randal, the Director of the Office of Business Attraction and Retention in Philadelphia. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, I'm delighted you asked me to join you.
Could you tell us a little bit about what you do and some of the current projects that you're working on?
Well, modestly, I want to say that I think I have the coolest job in the whole of city government. I really, truly do. I get to basically create jobs for people. And when you go home at night and know that you helped create jobs where people get a paycheck and they get health insurance and they can take care of their families and impact the local economy, it's a pretty cool thing. So I really think I have the coolest job in city government. And also love working for Mayor Nutter because he shares that same kind of vision and the desire to make Philadelphia a more magnificent city. So it's fun to be able to be in this role in this particular administration. And some of the jobs I'm working on are all over the place. I know we're here today to talk more about sustainability and sustainable businesses, which I would refer to more in the realm of clean technology, which captures all of the subsectors of sustainable business because it captures the alternative energy like wind and solar, water power. It captures things like electric cars, recyclable materials, building materials, and things like recycling itself. Clean technology it's the future that's here now. It's the future that should have been here a long time ago, but we didn't know any better because we just threw everything away. So where is a way? Today we understand that there is no away. And so we have to be good, we have to honor the earth, we have to make things in a different way, we have to design them in a different way, we have to produce them in a different way, and we have to dispose of them in a different way. And the impact that has on a city like Philadelphia is creating whole new kinds of industries. And of course that creates new jobs, which is, as I said, the essence of my role here, is that by creating these new businesses, it puts Philadelphia on the map as a center for this kind of technology, this kind of industry. You know, like Silicon Valley has its reputation. That's what we're driving so hard for here. In fact, one of the wonderful things about this administration is the mayor's commitment to being a sustainable city and making Philadelphia the greenest city in the United States by the year 2035. And has, for the first time ever, an office of the Mayor's Office of Sustainability with 15 specific targets that they want to achieve and that the private sector can get engaged in, businesses can get engaged in, and just the general public can get engaged in these things. And it's a very exciting program and very measurable. Catherine Gajewski is the director of this program, and she and her team have done a wonderful job. And the other thing that I want to mention is that because of our location, we're already sustainable. We sit between New York, which is the financial capital, and Washington, which is the governmental capital, but we're not as expensive. We've got all the infrastructure, all the good stuff, all the cultural arts and everything else here, all the great educational facilities. We're up to 101 colleges and universities now. So Philadelphia can become, and is becoming, the center for this kind of thinking, especially at the Navy Yard, where we just got a grant from the federal government for $129 million to look at how buildings are energy efficient. We have an old building stock here because of our history, but we also need to look at how we're building new buildings and coming up with new materials that are not toxic, that don't hurt the people that make them, much less that what they emit into the atmosphere. And it also affects the business community by creating more opportunities. Entrepreneurs, I mean, look at people like Hydros, that are creating bottles that, don't have to be recycled, because we all know how many bottles go into the landfills. And in working with the Hydros gentlemen, these are young entrepreneurs and very exciting. They do things that are great for the earth. And while I may not be doing those things, I'm helping them do them. So there is a lot of ways in which people touch each other that they don't even realize. But as far as how this also helps the city of Philadelphia, it's all up to us. It's about our imagination. It's how we support young entrepreneurs, and I shouldn't just use the word young because I know all ages of entrepreneurs that are looking to do what I said earlier, which is to create materials and buildings and products that really honor the earth. And I think that's part of why what the Academy is doing, the Academy of Natural Sciences is doing, is so important, because they really are producing a venue that has developed a very high quality reputation of having good speakers, current future thinkers, good problem solvers. How can we help Philadelphia become that city that we are already really on the way of being one of the leading cities in this whole area of creating clean technology, products, companies, materials, and be that center in the United States and the world. That's one of my personal goals, is to really bring the world up. We used to be the manufacturers for the world. We made everything here. And so one of my personal goals is to help Philadelphia be that sustainable city of manufacturing, but sustainable manufacturing. Local companies actually have 300% the impact on a local economy that a chain from outside your city has, because they in turn hire other local companies, accountants, lawyers, and suppliers, and things of that nature. So it goes everywhere from fashion to manufacturing to the recycling, like e-recycling companies such as Materials Processing Corporation, which you'll have to come to the event on Thursday to see if you want to know more. But they are truly a success story.
And you mentioned that the mayor's office had some targets that they wanted to, goals that they wanted to accomplish by
2035.
2035. What could you name some of those goals?
Well, some of them are, a lot of it's the low-hanging fruit, but it's so important. Lower city government energy consumption by 30%. I think it's important to also note that if we can't ask other people to do it if we don't set the example ourselves. Reduce citywide building energy consumption by 10%. In other areas, reduce our greenhouse gas emissions by 20%, improve our air quality, divert 70% of solid waste from landfills. Why companies like Materials Processing Corporation are so important. Manage our stormwater. This is a huge thing which is causing a lot of waves, no pun intended, but we are setting a new standard for the problem of stormwater, which we're experiencing here today because of all the rain we've had, but we can't afford new sewer systems, so we have to work in a more creative, sustainable way with how can buildings or property hold the water longer so it doesn't go pouring into the sewer systems and backing up roads and backing up in people's homes. So we are actually being looked at by cities across the country as a leader in this area. And let's see, more tree coverage, which is wonderful because there's so many stretches that we have to walk where there's no shade and it's miserable. And the 15th target of the 15 is to make Philadelphia the greenest city in America by the year 2035. And we are, as I said, part of this that is great is you get all these reports that sit on shelves, but every year they do this, the annual report, and they show the measurements of what they've actually achieved during that year, and what programs are ongoing and what programs are on target and which ones need a little bit more of a push. So this is something that the mayor and, like I said, Catherine and everybody who's engaged, as well as the general public and businesses, should really be very, very proud of.
And what are, so I guess, are there any roadblocks that would be in place, do you think, that you see that could maybe hinder or slow down the clean technology process in the city? Seems like we have a lot of progress, but obviously there's always things that
There's always the roadblocks.
Yeah.
One is human nature, and it's greed. You know, I think that that's probably one of the human aspects to it, that people don't care to make a difference. But what gives me so much hope when it comes to knocking out the roadblocks and making that extra effort to make something be sustainable so that it dissolves or it goes back to the earth in a natural way, is the young people, is people like yourself. You've been raised with an understanding of the world is finite, you know, and there is no way, as I said, and you don't want to own cars and drive to the suburbs every day and put the emissions into the air. You have a consciousness that has really had an amazing impact on me as someone who grew up in an environment where we drank our rainwater and did not have, you know, electric. We could not take for granted because it was on and off. I grew up in the Virgin Islands, and I had to deal with many of the issues that are happening in cities like Philadelphia now. But I think those of you in this age range have such a wonderful awareness of the importance of the earth and the damage that we're doing to it, that I'm hoping that you all will be who gets out there and knocks out these roadblocks.
Right, and economically, financially too, we see a lot of the waste that goes on in the government and in the local economy.
And get out there and vote. You know, vote the people into office that will make a change. You know, don't take it for granted that, you know, people need to hear the voice. They need to hear, yes, we really care about how things are made, how water goes off, how it goes into the sewer systems and backs up into people's basements. All of these things are very important to us, and you know, we've got one globe that we're all living on together, and we have other nations that are growing, you know, exponentially, like China and India, and we need to do everything we can as a country who's always been a consumption nation to change our ways of thinking and what we need.
So young people maybe watching this, learning more about it, they want to start their own companies, organizations, they want to make a difference. Where can they start? How, you know, what would you recommend?
Well, becoming aware of what's in place. There are places that things are going on, like the Greenworks initiative. They can always go to the city's website, phila.gov, and look up Greenworks and see what's going on there and volunteer. There are so many things happening in the world of agriculture with the grow local, buy local phenomenon that is just thrilling. Don't buy things that aren't made in Philadelphia. You know, buy things, go to support your local entrepreneurs that are manufacturing the clothing on Sansom Street, or that are making the hats up in Northeast Philadelphia. You know, support, and I'm not saying not to support the other retailers from out of town by any means, because they're a critical aspect of being an exciting city. But you know, and just the basic things, you know, just recycling and turning off your lights or not letting your water run, just taking it on a very personal, what can I do basis. And for a lot of cash-strapped young people, that might be a good way to go, saving a lot of your Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's, as I said, I have been so impacted by the mindset that is so heartfelt of young people like yourself. That has given me a whole new sense of hope.
And local business owners who want to get involved with what the mayor's office is doing, or just clean technology in general, they probably do the same, or what steps can they take?
Well, there are programs that Commerce Offices offers, throughout various divisions of the Commerce Department, where if they want to take their business into a more green direction, we can work with them to help them do things like that. There's a group down at the Navy Yard called DVIRC. It's an industrial group that does things like that for companies. Well, I guess my answer would be call the Commerce Department and we can put you on the right path. The other thing that is going on with Mayor Nutter's administration is he's making the city an easier place to do business. And as long as you know to call us, we can do a lot for you. The problem is getting you to call us. So if you call us, we can get you pointed in the right direction and hooked up with like individuals, like companies, and build that network for you.
And you have an event coming up on Thursday the 15th. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
I was contacted by the Academy for the programs that I told you about, that we're all very respectful of this venue that they're offering, and asked to do something on a panel about attracting sustainable businesses to Philadelphia. And we are really doing a lot, and there are a lot of partners. It's not just me. We have a lot of team members that come out of government and that come out of the private sector that we work with, depending on the kind of companies we're pursuing. And I'm going to be talking about who those people are, what the assets of Philadelphia are, and why we are in such an amazing position to become the center of sustainability and clean technology. But you have to come to hear what the reasons are. And I've also got a number of people that are going to be on the panel, some of which I mentioned while we've been talking. Todd will be there from Materials Processing Corporation. He's coming in from Minneapolis. Jeff Bartos will be there, who is the president and CEO of the Mark Group for the United States of America, and he'll talk about why they selected Philadelphia. And again, you have to be there to hear. And then the third person on the panel is Kirsty Halliday, who is with E3 Bank, and she is consulting with them in a very interesting capacity, because E3 is a bank that will be, when they finally get their appropriate certifications and everything, they will be lending and financing to sustainable, clean technology kinds of businesses. And that is just tremendous. We're all very eager for them to make this happen, because we all know the financing for anything is difficult right now. But to have a bank whose mission is really to help grow sustainable businesses, I think is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that seems like it's a pretty good group of people who are at the forefront of this movement. And that's a free event at the Academy of Natural Sciences?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And is there anything else that you want to add about it, or anything you want to tell the people that they should know? Or
just that I'm thrilled to be a part of this, and that it's fun to have so much company now with. I see when you were out there as one of the older tree huggers, and now it's not like that at all. It's a tsunami. Instead, it's people are really getting it. And I just encourage the young people, again, like yourself, to just don't let the other stuff get in your way. Just be true to what you know is important to protect, and as I said, and honor our earth.
What a better place to do all that than in Philadelphia.
Absolutely. Couldn't be a better place.
Ben Franklin.
We were the first of many things, as we all know. So let's be the first greatest city of sustainable clean technology businesses.
That's wonderful. All right, well, that's all the questions I have. Thank you very much for being here.
It's a pleasure.
For talking with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening in today.